Hello and welcome to Scalemodeling. My name is Peter and I'm doing a video today on something a little bit different to what I normally do. And as the title of the video suggests, we're going to be looking at some paint. In particular, OutLaw Paints. And I'm going to give you my experience with this paint and my thoughts on it. And personally, why I think anybody watching this should get out there and buy this paint and have a go, because it's one of those things where you'll never know unless you try and give it a go. So what we're going to do in this video is I'll talk about what I've been using it on and my thoughts on how it goes down and details of it. We'll look at we'll spray something, we'll get a bit of paint in the airbrush and we'll get some paint down and show you how it sprays. I'm just one of the many happy customers out there, I'm sure, who buy this product and use it. And I just want to share that with people out there. So that there's an opportunity for people out there to hopefully, and I'm pretty certain, have a similar experience to what I have. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, we'll set up here on the bench with some samples and we'll give it a spray. I'll put details of the website where you can purchase OutLaw Paints from, and a few other details of what's on the site, and contact details for the company and whatever you need to know. And yeah, so let's have a look at exactly what I'm talking about here. So OutLaw Paints is an Australian owned and operated company that provides acrylic lacquer paints. Okay, they're airbrush ready paints. You basically just put them in the cup of your airbrush and spray them. They're ready to go. There's no thinning, nothing like that. And the amazing part about these things, this paint, is just how easy it is to use, and the result and the quality you get using it. And this is from my own experience, and I'll share a bit about that. I'm not going to go into the range and the details and all that. That's all on the website. You can go in there. It's quite clear on the website where you can go through all the huge colour range that's available. Now, having said that it's Australian owned and operated, it's also expanding at the moment throughout the world. At the time of making this video now, there's in the next few months they'll be opening up in the UK, where this product will be available, and then moving on to Canada and the US. Again, on the website, you can go there. If you can go to the stock lists page, it'll put, and down there you can see everywhere that it's available. Currently, most major hobby retailers throughout Australia stock it, and or you can buy definitely directly from the website, where you can make an account, log in and order direct, and that's probably the best way to get hold of it. All right, so what I would like to do is invite anybody who's watching this that has used OutLaw Paints to put your experience down in the comments below. Share that experience, because from everybody I've spoken to throughout the community, modeling community, all I've ever heard is positive stuff, and that needs to be shared. People need to get out there and try this product, put it in their airbrush and give it a go, and just see how good it is. Okay, there's people out there I know of that are replacing all their other products of paints for the OutLaw Paints, and for good reason. Okay, so what I'll do now is I'll move the camera down to the normal top-down view, and I'll get set up here with the airbrush, and we'll start doing a few samples out there and and having a look at how well this paint goes on. All right, I'll be back in a second. Okay, welcome back. So here we are down on the bench, and I will put that in the corner because I don't want you to forget that name. This is what it's all about. Remember, outlawpaints.com.au. All right, so I've put a bit of black card down here just to make the image clearer and we can see what we're doing well, because what I'm about to do is spray some spoons. So first of all, we'll get a couple of spoons. I've got a fresh pack which I will open, so they have not been tampered with. All right, they are original plastic white spoons. Grab a few of them like that. Okay, of course, very glossy, a lot more glossier than your plastic of your sprue, but you know, this, I've got no doubts that paint will have no problem adhering really well to this. Okay, now there's our spoons. Now for the paint, what I'm going to use is what I've used before. Now I've only been modeling for the last, I guess it's 2.5 years now. Okay, so I'm talking from a reasonably a beginner's perspective on this. Okay, I haven't had 10, 20, 30 years of experience using an airbrush and paints. I'm just talking about my experience. All right, so if I honestly believe if I can do this and get these results, anyone can. All right, now here's our paints I'm going to use. Now the first thing, all right, we've got here is the IGN grey. Okay, so this was the grey that was specially mixed, which is available on the site, but it's specially mixed up to match the Yamato battleship build that I'm currently building. And it's a beautiful one, beautiful, beautiful colour. Now, I'm also going to spray the hull red, which was also matched up, okay, to suit the as accurate as possible to the hull of the Yamato. Now, what I want you to see, first of all, is look in the bottom of that. Do you see that? Look how much pigment is in the bottom there. All right, so I'll bring it up close so you can really see. And I don't want to get, the focus is locked down here. It's probably best to see here. But look at that. The amount of pigment you get in that is incredible. Now, this is an acrylic lacquer. You don't add anything. It's sprayed straight from the bottle. But, you know, Outlaw Paints go to the trouble of putting in more pigment than any other brand of acrylic lacquer paint you'll find anywhere, and it shows in the result as we're about to see. All right, now what I'll also do is I'll use some primer, which I forgot to bring out with me. I'll bring out some primer. We'll put some primer on the spoon first, and then the whole red. Okay, so I'll put them aside. Now the airbrush I'm using, it doesn't matter what airbrush you're using with this stuff. All right, this here is just a simple Procon Boy double action platinum with a 0.3 needle. All right, so this is not an expensive airbrush. This is low to mid range. It's about, in Australian dollars, about $120, $30 Australian. Okay, so it's not your Iwata or any of those bigger brands, and it's, you know, it's not your cheapest, but this has been doing me well for quite a long time, and it does the job perfectly. I mean, I've got no reason to get anything more experience. Paint goes through this beautifully. All right, now the compressor's down here and it's set at about 15 psi. All right, anywhere between 12 and 15 is, I think, the recommended for this. But again, that doesn't make any difference. All right, you don't really need to worry too much about the pressure. But 15, I've had no problem with that at all. All right, it comes out absolutely beautifully. All right, so now I'm going to go get some primer, and I'll be back shortly, and we'll fill this up, and we'll give a couple of sprays on these spoons. I'll be back shortly. Okay, so here's our grey primer. All right, I'm just going to give this a quick shake. This is in a 100ml bottle. Obviously, definitely available on the website because these are something you use quite a lot, so, you know, definitely need it. So just give that a good quick shake. There you go. There's our primer. Then we'll put a little bit, just move it over here so you can see. Put a bit in the airbrush. There we go. Some people just pour it straight in. I don't. I try to be a little bit tidier. I use a toothpick here and just use that, hold against it. If you can see that clearly, I'll just move it a bit more there. Just go like that. Let it run down the toothpick and it directs it straight down. Won't touch the side. There's no chance of it spilling over. Anyway, we're not here to talk about technique because you don't need technique here, as you're about to see. All right, so there's our primer is in. Okay, move this over to the side. Check the air, it's fine. Now the compressor will most likely come on during this, but it shouldn't be too loud. Okay, so here we go. Let's start with putting some primer on. And I'm telling you, this is straight on here. I'm not even going to wash these. All right, normally with your sprues, it is suggested whatever paint you're using, wash your sprues first, just with normal dishwashing liquid, and then rinse them off with water and let them dry. But these should be fine, straight out of the bag as you saw. Okay, so here we go. Let's do this. There we go. It's starting to flow out now. We're just going to layer it across like that. All right. Just a light layer at first. Just my way of doing it, you know. Then we'll just go a little bit thicker. There goes the compressor. It's not too loud, I hope. There we go. That's gone on there like that nicely. I'm only going to do the backs of the spoon. Okay, let's try again. Another little bit thicker. That's done. Pretty sure that's about it. Yeah. I hope you can see that on the camera. So I'm just going to let that dry. This paint does not take long to dry at all. Now in this room it's about 24 degrees Celsius. And I would just probably give that about 10 minutes. That's all it needs, 10 minutes. So we'll come back to that in 10 minutes. What I'm thinking of doing is maybe doing a black primer on here. Might be a little bit better to see. All right, so I'll do that. I'll change the paint over and put some black in there and we'll spray that, and that'll give that a chance to dry as well. All right, back shortly. Oh, and before I do go, I'll just show you, to get the paint back in the bottle from the cup here, it's just a case of grabbing that same little toothpick you used and just feed it in like this and let it run down the toothpick. And there you go. Straight into there, no spill. We're all good to go. All right, so I shall return with some black primer. Okay, so let's go again. So here's our beautiful black primer. Okay, now the reason I use black primer is because you want to get that beautiful shadow detail in the corners to show up. And this stuff, well, speaks for itself. All right, so what I've done is I've got some put away, some in our airbrush already, as you can see. I will go through how I clean out my airbrush too between paints, because there's nothing to it. This cleans out so easily with OutLaw Paints on it, in it. It's just amazing. All right, so here we go. Same thing again. We're going to put some primer exactly like I did before. I'm just going to go with a light layer across. There we go, like that. I'll go back and do another one. A little bit heavier. Okay. Now you may see those streaks in there. You see those streaks? Don't worry about that. This is self-leveling, okay? This stuff will just, once that dries, you'll see nothing, all right? Now that was two layers. Let's do one more now, a thicker layer. This is just a primer, remember? So we're just going to go like this. And that's it, done, all right? I'm happy with that. I'll let that dry. Now, it's literally been 5 minutes, okay? And have a look at the finish on that. Absolutely beautiful. It's like it's like that was the original color of the plastic. You wouldn't even know that's painted. All right. So there's our black. We'll leave that, let that dry. And now what I'm going to do is show you how I go about cleaning this, because cleaning is another problem with paints. You know, you've got to, you know, get in there and it's stuck in there, and your needle gets clogged up, and the nozzle gets clogged, and all that. You won't have that trouble. All right. So here we go. So we grab our toothpick and we're going to tip the excess straight back into the bottle like that. That's that done. Okay, I'll put that on here. All right, you can keep an eye on that drying in the background too. All right, now just get the excess out. That's what I'm doing there, just spraying the excess out. All right, so what I do now is I have a little jar to keep all my waste in. Okay, all right, and then I have a little bottle here with like a dropper in it. Okay, and it has acrylic lacquer thinner in it, right? You can go buy this stuff in bulk for like $25, I think it is, for a 2-litre tin. It's really cheap and it lasts literally forever. So what I do is I get my little dropper like this, put it around the outside like that, just a little bit, that's all you need. Right, give it a swirl around, right, simple. Then tip it into there. Then you come along with a cloth, just a cheesecloth is what I use. That's what you got to do. Stick that in there, clean the cup out like that. If you've got any excess on the outside, just give that a wipe, which I didn't. Fine. Give it a spray, because there was some always in the bottom that you can't reach. That's going back into the cup, right? And you're done. That's it. Now, I would suggest, I've gone from black primer and I might go to a lighter color paint, all right? So in that case, what I would do is grab a cotton bud, all right? Put a drip on the end of your cotton bud like that, and do this just with the end. Just give that a swirl around on the end of the tip. And then look at that, it gets all the paint off. You're done. Now, what you could do is just flush a little bit more through, like that. Just spray it out. There you go. You're ready for the next color. All right, brilliant. Okay, so what I will do now is we'll get some color organized. I'll be back in a sec and sort things out here. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab our gray. This is the Imperial Japanese gray. I'm going to spray that onto the black spoon with the black primer, and then we'll do the whole red on the grey one. Okay, so give that a shake. Now, mentioning the cleanup, it is so much better and so easy to do that. You know, you've got no problem. Now, if you are going to use your airbrush, not use it overnight or longer, you know, you're finished with your painting session for the day, I would recommend doing a little bit deeper clean. You know, something like this. I'm not saying this is, you know, the ultimate airbrush, but pulling that out, sometimes you get paint that sits along the, it builds up along the needle, and that can cause it to not, you know, like slide properly like it should. And I would recommend giving that a clean. Okay. But other than that, it's like I said, use that acrylic thinner to clean it, and you're done. It's simple, you know. No mixture of nasty chemicals and all sorts of stuff. It cleans up beautifully. All right, I'll just turn that down for a sec. So, all right, so first we'll do the whole red. Give this a shot. Shake up the little bullet bottle. We'll put the bullet in the gun, as they say. Now again, OutLaw Paints, you know, if you have any questions and you want to contact OutLaw Paints, Jason is your man. You can email him. You can, there's options on the website to contact them. and you'll get a response straight away. All right, so that's shook up really nice. This is beautiful. Right, now we'll grab our toothpick again. I'm just going to drop a little bit in here. There we go. Always put our lids back on. We don't want to spill anything. Get a little bit through. Fine. And I'll just get that to power up a bit. Get that pressure back up. So we're going on the grey. That was it. Yep. So we'll do the grey. Just give that a few seconds. Done. But yeah, you can't go wrong. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Primer's on there. I mean, look. You know, what? I painted that less than 15 minutes ago. It's just like the original plastic. It's just stuck on there so well, and that provides the best paint base for your colour to go on top of. Because that's what the idea of the primer is, as far as I'm concerned, is creating a base for your paint to stick to. All right. Okay, so here we go. Let's see if this. Here we go. Ready? We're going to go like this. All right. Now, when I say this is whole red, don't expect it to be red. Okay, there's nothing really red about this. It's a browny colour red. There we go. Just spray that on like this. Okay. Just give that a few seconds. Doesn't take much. All right. Here we go. And get one more bit of a thicker layer. You can see how easily that's coming out, and it's going on. Just no effort. It's just I think that's it, eh? That's enough. All right. So going by the colour for this particular one, it's actually called, now you've caught me out here, let me just check that. I'll be back in a second when that compressor stops. Okay, so it's actually called Cocoa Brown, which it certainly looks like that, doesn't it? That's come up nice. So we'll put that one aside now, and we'll grab our black one here. Now I'm going to pretty much used all that, so I'll squeeze, get rid of all that out. We'll do a quick, we'll do this on camera, show how simple this is. All right. And if anyone out there who's not used an airbrush that may be watching this video, they're really simple, okay? Really simple to use. I went through a lot of trouble working out the paint, especially when you've got to add thinner. Some of the bigger names that require different mixtures and ratios, and then they talk about do it to the consistency of milk and all the rest. Well, you know, that's all trial and error, so you don't really need to worry. Well, you don't have to worry about any of that, because this is straight out of the bottle, let it spray. Okay, look at that, beautiful, clean, ready to go. Okay, put that away. Right, so now we're going to do the grey on black. Okay, so there it is. There's our grey. Now that pigment, look at that pigment on that. Look how much pigment's in there. I'm going to give that a good shake. All right. Yeah, so when I first started airbrushing with all the other paints, before I knew about Outlaw Paints, I went through so much trouble. I had paint clogging and not coming out and splattering and every problem you could imagine. And sometimes you'd mix the paint with exact same way as you did on a different day, and then suddenly you've got it splattering, or it's coming out and laying on the model like looking like sandpaper because of the humidity and the temperature. I haven't found that to be a problem with this at all. This has been no trouble at all. anything like that. So there's our grey, there's our Imperial Japanese grey mixed up. All right, let's grab another toothpick. Pop some in here. There it is there, beautiful, that's it. Okay. All right. Ready? Here we go. Let's put a layer on here. Now, you know, in fact, I'll hold off for a sec. I want this to dry a little bit more. I think it needs a little bit more. It was the last one we painted, and I did put it on fairly thick. So I'm just going to leave that. We'll come back in a few minutes. No, we won't, actually. I'm going to show you here. So here's a box set, and you can buy, there are plenty of variety of box sets available on the website. Okay, this is the Auscam box set, which is the camouflage one. So in this, for example, you've got camouflage green, camouflage brown, there's a camouflage black. All right, there's a Pilbara brown. All right, obviously towards military vehicles. But again, go to the website, have a look at all the variety of paints you can get on there, and it's growing all the time. I mean, there's new colours becoming available, and if there's a colour that you can't find there, for instance, they recommend a Tamiya or a Mr. Hobby or whatever brand on your instructions for your paint call out of your build, just give them the number, okay? Give them the reference number for that colour, and they can literally mix it for you, okay? So both Jason and Hayden there, they will go, it's no trouble for them to mix custom paints if that's required. Okay, so all right, that's I'm not going to wait long because that's going to dry really quick. That'll be fine. What I will do is pick one of these colors to spray as well, I think. Yeah, I'm looking at the green. Hey, the green looks nice. I shook up early and it looks really, really nice. Camouflage green. All right, we'll give that a shot, okay? But for the moment, let's get some of the grey down. Put that aside. All right, the grey's in the cup. Here's our spoon. I think she's right to go now. All right, here we go. Let's get the grey on. Look at this. One layer. Go this way and do this one. That way. Beautiful. One more. Now I'm putting that on quite thick. You know what? You don't have to worry about this running. There's no chance you're going to get any paint run on this. No way. It just goes on so well. All right, we'll give it one more. There we go. Beautiful. Look at that. Hey? I mean, how can you go wrong? Look at that. Look how easily that sprays on there. And that's the whole key to this. It's so easy to use to get a quality result. Like the title of the video says, you go to the trouble of building your model in all that detail, with all that photo etch, and you're sanding and you're making all the modifications, and you're just spending hours and hours, hundreds of hours in some cases. You want to have a perfectly good paint finish. I mean, the paint in the end is what makes that model, doesn't it? So really, for your best work, which is every model, you put your best effort into every model you build. Well, you want to put your best effort into every model you paint as well. And this does it for you. You really need to just get out there and try it. That's all. And for anybody who has, let me know in the comments below how it went for you. All right, so we're going to put that, I'm going to put these like this so you can see them. All right, now I think we'll give this green a go. All right, and I think we'll do it on a grey primer. Yeah, so we'll grab another spoon. I'm just going to quickly off camera prime this one up, and we'll come back and put some green on there. Okay, we'll be back in a sec. Okay, back again. There we go. Sprayed that on 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. And again, beautiful primer, grey primer, gone on really nice. And we're ready to put on some Oscam camouflage green. Okay, so I was shaking this up early, but I'll give it another go. Okay, so let's go with this. There's that. And just drop a bit in here. But the ease of cleanup too is, like I mentioned it before, but how easy it is to clean up after yourself. I mean, look, along with primers and colours here, we've run 6 different paints through this airbrush. And I've only been here for half an hour. You know, just how easy is that? You know, none of this measuring out so many, 60% thinner to, 40% paint, the other stuff and all that. No, none of that. Don't worry about it. All right, here we go. So we're going to put the green on. Let's see how we go. Let me just get a little bit out first. Okay, here we go. Look at that. That's nice. Beautiful. Look at that. It's a nice looking green there, eh? Just dry it a bit with the airbrush. And do another 3rd layer, but this time a little bit thicker. Yeah, one more this way. All right, happy with that. Again, that was quite a thick layer I just put on last. I have no fear of any runs in the paint. It just won't happen. All right, so we'll let that dry, and once again, clean this out, put a bit more in here. Have our rusty toothpick again. There we go. Work that out. So that was the green. Very nice. Okay. Again, clean out just like I did before. All right. A quick swirl around. Dip it into there. And we clean it out with our cloth. Look at that. Ready to go. Ready for the next color. All right. All right. So I know I'm doing all this here and I'm showing you all this stuff. Don't take my word for it. Try it yourself. Okay? Try it yourself. You can buy this stuff right now anywhere in the world, even though it's not available from your retailer in some countries overseas. Go on the website. Postage may be an issue at the moment with the cost and so forth. So be aware of that. But other than that, grab some. I mean, who knows? When you're watching this video, I'm pretty sure that Outlaw Paints will be available everywhere. And that's the goal, and that's where it's headed. Anywhere you'll be able to get hold of these, because it is just that good. All right. So what I'll do is I'm going to look at that. That's drying all right. Look at that. That's drying beautifully. Just while we're here. Okay. So let me set up. I'll come back. I'll be only 5 minutes, and I'll line things up here, and we'll have one more quick talk about it. Back in a sec. Okay, so we're back again, and I just wanted to show you one other thing that's so good about this paint. All right, check this out. All right, so this is the radar array of the Yamato. The top here is all photo etch. All right, inside. It's like a mesh photo etch. It's tiny. So you notice, I might probably better that way. You can notice that. If you look at that carefully, you notice you can see straight through it. You can see the white beneath, right through. That shows how finely this paint sprays. All right, so I painted that on both sides. Not even too concerned about light coats or anything. This was done in about three coats, not even that. And look at that. There's no clogging. There's no paint that's filled in the gaps in the mesh. It's all beautifully gone on there and perfect coverage. You can see right through it. You know, just amazing, amazing. All right, now I'll put that aside. It's just something you just got to spray it and don't think about it. It works. That's all that matters. Look at that. So there's our result. All right. So here we got our IGN grey. It's gone on, well, perfectly. There we go. I've sprayed this, that was the first thing I sprayed half an hour ago at the most. It's done. Scratching that. Done. Beautiful. There's our hull red, which was the cocoa sort of color. This was custom mixed for the Yamato, but again, there it is. Dried on there beautifully. All right, look at that. Now, we haven't even gone into putting clear coats on here yet. And there we go. There's our camouflage green. Again, went on there really nice. I sprayed, 15 minutes ago. Dried already. So there we go. So thank you all for watching. This is just my experience with Outlaw Paints. I'm so glad that I was introduced to it. I'm so glad I met Jace, and you know, for a long time he said, you got to try it, you got to try it. And when I finally got the Yamato model and he sent me some paint and I finally got some on there, every word he said came true. It's just beautiful, beautiful stuff. Okay, so that's my experience with it. I thought I'd just share that with all my subscribers and anyone else that comes across the video. Go to outlawpaints.com.au website. Up there you'll be able to find where all the stock lists are, where you can buy it. You can purchase directly off the website. Simply make up an account there. You can get help if you need to. You can email or Jason himself if you have any questions, or if you need particular paints mixed and custom done. It's no problem at all. Yeah, well, what else can I say? Give it a go. If you have got any questions you might want to ask me, put it in the comments below. Okay. Outlaw Paints also has a Facebook page, so you can whip over to Facebook. Again, I'll put that link in the description as well. And hey, if you want to visit Jace as well, he has his own channel, Aussie Scalemodeler. Go and check out that and have a look at some of the beautiful work he's done and used his paints on. And well, there you go. So thank you all for watching, and I really do hope you get out there, you get the opportunity to purchase this paint and give it a go. And you know, I'm very confident that you'll be thanking me. You'll be thanking me. Okay, guys, thanks a lot. I'll catch you all in the next video. Bye for now. Cheers all.